So, my name is Tiffany Rozier, and just by show of hands, how many of you guys like to have fun? Okay, hopefully that's everybody's hands. How many of you all have experienced some sort of a photo booth, whether it was open setup, green screen, enclosed? Got it. Okay, almost half of you. How many of you all are kind of competitive? Anybody competitive in here? Okay, so I need 2 people who are competitive to come up here, real quick, on that side, by the basket. 2 people, quick. Oh, let's see, Deanie, how about you? And then I don't know anybody else's name, so somebody give me a name of somebody. Sarah. Okay, Deanie and Sarah. So you guys have 5 seconds to pick out 3 props. So we're going to count for you. Ready? Everybody count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So Deanie's going to take a little time there. Okay, so go ahead, put your props on for us if you don't mind. If you guys would like to take some photo ops here, you know, they said that it's okay. You can take pictures. So, Snapchat. Somebody's going to Snapchat you guys. So obviously one of the things that we do when we're working with, you know, a photo booth setting is it's about having fun. It's about being, they're taking pictures. Make sure you guys pose. Get their good sides. Okay. And so it's about having fun. It's about creating that memory. It's about creating that experience. And so we are very excited that Deanie and Sarah have stepped up to the challenge, have had some fun. Obviously, I couldn't bring the photo booth in and do everything in 15 minutes, but if anybody wants to go ahead and take any more pictures of them in their lovely attire, awesome. Thank you. Thank you guys for participating. Give them a big round of applause. So the reason why I wanted to kind of start off that way is I feel like with my business, Allstar Photo Booth, it's a business that I started technically in Virginia 2.5 years ago, so I'm still under the 3 years in some of the areas, but started it on paper in February of 2014 when I was living in Orlando, Florida. I knew I was going to be coming back for some family reasons, and I had a Holly Hobby camera when I was 5 years old. So if you think about like what you're doing now, sometimes there's a connection from when you were younger. So I'm the type of person that if you were to say, Tiffany, do you have anything from like 5th grade, any pictures? Oh yeah, sure, and I've even got it in a photo album. But I never really did professional photography, like taking that route in school. And so I had the chance to work with somebody several years ago. Love the concept of the photo booth, but not really the business side. And I come from a family that has some experience in HR and accounting and kind of that business mindset. So I knew that there were things that I would do a little bit differently if I had a business. So why choose Allstar Photo Booth? I really like to say that my company is different and it's set apart because we really are committed to helping you have fun. We are not the type of company where, you know, there's a photo booth and there's like 5 or 6 props. You know, there's plenty of props for you to choose from. And I even laugh sometimes with the staff that works with me, and they are all independent contractors, but you know, we'll say, gosh, I mean, will people just stop coming to the photo booth? But it's because people are enjoying themselves. They have different things to choose from. It's not just, oh, well, I've already taken a picture. I don't need to go again. They want to go back and use something else, do a different combination. And so that's why we try to make sure we have staff that are engaging. We try to make sure that we have a variety of props. I kind of get excited. I'm not a shopper, but I love the sales like after the holidays, like, you know, Halloween and Christmas and New Year's, because, you know, you get some great deals on props. So, you know, that's where you can find me. But also we're really focused on the customer service. Sometimes I'm almost offended when people say, oh, is there going to be somebody there at the event, like staffing it? And I'm thinking, to me, that's the norm. There would always be somebody there. But I didn't realize that some photo booth companies choose to have a standalone option where maybe it's a little bit cheaper, whatever cheaper is to them. But if I don't have it staffed, then I don't have to pay as much money. But on my side, I feel like for me, if something went wrong in that type of a scenario, I feel like I would deal with more bad press or bad PR about, oh, the photo booths didn't work and nobody was there and this was broken or this didn't happen. So that's why it's really important for me to have that customer service side. And of course, you know, whether or not you want to do it by yourself, because we know a lot of people like to take those solo selfies, or if you like to do big group things, that's what we try to offer. So a couple things just to tell you, let's see if I went the right way. So just some of our credentials here. I think another thing that sets my photo booth company apart is that we do have ourselves certified with the state as a small business, as a woman-owned and minority-owned business. But also I went through the process, in case that opportunity comes, I want to be ready, for the SAM certification, which is the System for Awards Management. Doing that so that I am prepared, because I feel like if you're not prepared and the opportunity comes, you kind of don't have a chance to sort of jump in. Also, I'm involved with some different networking groups, the Future Billionaires Club, or some things I've gotten some recognition for related to Inside Business, or the Hampton Roads Chamber. I'm currently a co-chair for the ambassador. So I really try to involve myself in organizations or groups that I feel like I can get something out of, but also I can give something back. And of course, now that I'm part of this group, the next time I would have that logo on there. So I feel like I'm official now that I actually come with something. But as far as some of the recognition, in 2016, I was one of the outstanding women in business and achievement honorees. So I feel like, hey, I was up there with like the president of a local community college around here, So I felt that was pretty great, but also to recognize that as a small business owner, we do make an impact. And then currently, I'm one of the 2017 Hampton Roads Top to Watch finalists. So there are 6 of us in that. So on May 2nd, we'll find out who's the top small business that's under 3 years in business. So I'm pretty excited about those types of accomplishments, again, in setting Allstar Photo Booth apart from other companies. So if you can see this, I'm not sure if you can, but these are just some of our different setups. We have enclosed setups where you can sit down. Maybe people want a little bit of privacy. We know. Of course, I don't let them really close the curtain, so they can't be that private. And then we also do green screen setups. So, hey, we want to be in Australia. We want to be at the beach. We want to be, downtown Norfolk. So we can do different types of setups to make it appear that you are somewhere else. We also have something that's just a small, simple, I'd say it's about this tall, about this wide, a setup that we use, and we call it the open booth setup. So that's really great for like large groups of people. We use different backgrounds, different, setups for that. And then, of course, like I said, we try to bring a variety of props for people to choose from and to use. So different types of events, pretty common, things that you guys have probably experienced, weddings, corporate events, nonprofit events. We really try to keep ourselves open. I would say that we definitely, I guess some people will say, hey, I only do weddings or I only do corporate events. We try to offer everything for everyone. So I've had a chance to work with the colleges, also the K-12, a lot of the hotels or companies, private individuals. And kind of a funny comment that my mom said to somebody about their business. The woman was talking about her business and said, yeah, I kind of get a lot of people and they don't really want to pay on time. They don't want to do this. And my mom said, Tiffany doesn't really deal with, she calls it riffraff. But it's because, I say, hey, here's what I have to offer. Here's my pricing. And then I don't let people haggle me, well, I could get a photo booth for less than, okay, that's great. So I don't really kind of get into that conversation with them about that. I really try to find out, well, what is it that you want? What kind of experience do you want? And so, I'm happy to say that in 2.5 years, we've booked almost 290 events, and it's just me doing that work. But obviously, I've spent some time talking with Zach and trying to figure out, what are some things that I can do, because I want to still continue to grow the business, and I want to continue to make it be seen as a professional, great opportunity for people to utilize the services. So just a quick snapshot. Again, we have lots of props that we use. We have different setups, whether it's a photo strip or a 4x6. You can choose whether or not you want 4 shots on there or 3 shots on there. Do you want your logo? What are your themes? I am also the type of person, when I'm talking with you, what's your name?
Josh.
Josh. So let's say Josh is getting married. I don't know if he has a wedding ring, but if Josh is getting married and maybe he and his fiance said, hey, this is our theme. We're using a sailing theme. Our colors are red, white, and blue. And so I take the time and I would send Josh and his fiance maybe 3 different designs with, some different sailing type logos and ideas, and using those colors and then putting their names in there. And then I send it to him and then I say, hey, let me know what you think. Oh, hey, Tiffany, we really like number 1, but we like the font that you used in number 3. So I'll just kind of, make those edits, send them another version, because I feel like it's important for you to know what you're getting ahead of time if we have that time to work together. And then we do provide an album for our clients. It's not an extra charge later on. It's just part of what I include in the packages. So you get this really awesome album that your guests, we get them to sign for you. So at the end of the night, you automatically have a takeaway. We give you the digital output of all of your photos that are taken that night. And I don't care what you do with them. Use them as your Christmas card. I'd be flattered. You don't need to put Allstar Photo Booth on there. But it's things like that where I feel like this is what you paid for. This is the and then some. And so I think that's what helps us to continue to set ourselves apart in this industry. Some of our other customized options, obviously you can get additional photo printouts, social media integration. You know, I was at an event last night and told people, hey, FYI, this is going on to Facebook right now. By the time they walked away. And so, you know, we have the ability, bless you, we have the ability to, you know, provide that type of a service. And then also slow motion email marketing. I've had companies that say, hey, we want to use the photo booth, but we want to capture everybody that takes pictures. So we get their information. They put in their email address, and then at the end, I'm able to send the client an email listing of everybody that participated, which obviously they can use for, you know, the purposes that they would like in the future. And somebody could opt out and say that they don't want to include their email address. We just click no. So it's not something that they're forced to do. This just has a design, a couple different designs, like I mentioned, you know, the up and down strips, the 4x6, different types of things that we can offer with our designs. And then business tools. I think, you know, one of the reasons why we are all here is that, and, you know, involved, is that we're all wanting to, you know, build our businesses, make them stronger, or if we work for another business, you know, how can we help that company be stronger or grow? So I like to share my secrets. I call it the secrets of success. But for me, almost a year ago now, I felt like I was increasing business, and I was trying to keep up with my, what do they call, the Excel templates that are like, you know, your little computer that you use, and you create your own little invoice there. So I was doing that, and I had my little Word document, you know, PDF. Well, I made it a PDF, and then here, go ahead, Josh, can you guys go ahead and sign your contract and send it back to me? You know, sometimes I wouldn't get it back, but then I'm like, oh, okay. And then I let people do payment plans. Wait, when's their payment due? I don't want to ask that, gosh, like, let me look in my email. I felt like I had all this time that I was spending reinventing the wheels or going back and looking at things. And so I learned about something called HoneyBook last year, and it has changed my world. It really allows me to do my customers' proposals, their agreements, their invoices, payments. It sends automated reminders. It keeps track of all the money, how much money I still have that people owe overall. And it's awesome, though, when somebody says, hey, Tiffany, thank you so much for the reminder. And I'm like, oh, you're welcome. Even though I didn't really send that reminder myself. But they're customized so that the client really feels like they're interacting with me on a regular basis. Obviously, Google, I use Google Calendar. It kind of syncs with everything related to my tools. I use Pixie Set. So when I mentioned before that I give you all of those copies, usually try to keep them maybe 30 days because then I need, you know, that extra space for more photos. But I send my clients this really nice, you know, message. Here's your link, feel free to share, and it's presented in a professional way, not like, hey, here's a zip file with all your 150 photos, you know, for you to like now download and put all over your computer and all that stuff. And then I use Adobe Stock for a lot of my photos, especially when clients are wanting something a little more specialized. So the future's so bright, you gotta wear shades. So of course we got some, you know, some shades in there. And really, you know, my questions for you all is, you know, how could I be a support to you, whether it's something related to your business or maybe something you have personal going on. Photo booth sponsorship opportunities, I just put that in there because recently I've come across 3 companies that have said, hey, Tiffany, if somebody needs a photo booth, but yet they maybe can't afford all of it, or maybe it's a nonprofit and they can do part of it, but they need some more help. These 3 businesses are interested in me reaching out to them and say, hey, this company or this business, this organization, this wedding, this person, you know, wants some support. And so they just say, hey, as long as we can put our logo on there, and you will, and they agree that it can also be, you know, done on social media, that they're willing to chip in and pay for that. So we're getting ready to do our 3rd event like that. And so it's just nice that people don't really think about that. And when people say, oh, I can't afford it, if that's not in our budget, I immediately say, well, you know, there's opportunities to do sponsorships, and I give them that idea. And recently that's happened with one of the local colleges here in Norfolk, and they were just excited. They got one of the major car dealerships to sponsor the photo booth for them. And so really then my last question is really what's in it for you, or any questions that you might have for me. But hopefully in that quick time frame, I've given you a snapshot of what Allstar Photo Booth is about, but also to hopefully help you see it as something that's different than what you might just think of or have experienced with photo booths in the past.
So one thing that I thought was really good is that I think people have a perception of what a photo booth is, and it took a while for you to get to your really special sauce, which is, hey, we do custom things, hey, we do things that are really really special. And I think if you were to share that earlier, people would buy in even more. Obviously you're chipper and awesome and exciting, and I think everyone loves you, but that piece of it makes you so significantly different.
Okay.
Where, I mean, I've heard that before,
Yeah.
and I heard it again. I was like, oh, that's really cool that she does that, because that's when you don't deal with the riffraff that you were talking about. You know, you're going after someone who's looking for quality, and that's something that you can really provide to them as really important and special. Welcome.
Yes.
I think Zach made a good point. I can tell that you'd be fun to work with, without a doubt. What marketing channels have you tried, and what tends to work best for you? Like, how do you get that idea out there?
So as far as marketing, so I've definitely done some of the shows, different types of like vendor shows, wedding shows, trade shows. Those are kind of 50-50. I think for me, a lot of it has been the word of mouth once somebody has rented from me.
Referrals.
But the referrals, having me do multiple events for their family or then their company or vice versa. I've done. I use Google AdWords, and that's actually helped out. I was surprised because I didn't use it my first year. The second year I did, and I noticed, more responses and people saying, "How did you find me?" Because that is one of the questions on my form, and most of the time it's Google. So a lot of the people are strangers to me.
What kind of phrases are you putting in there?
As long as you don't tell anybody else, and I know it's recorded, no. So I use phrase, which is funny because then you look at other people's websites later, and I'm like, they did not have that on theirs when I started. But I use phrases like, photo booth rental, and then the city. What do people usually type in? Like cheap photo booths, even though I don't consider myself cheap, but that's something people type in. So I try to use phrases like that people would think of, like, photo booths mostly in the city connections, but
Cool.
yeah. Yes.
Do you find that advertising on Google has been better for you than Facebook?
I think so. More of my responses, again, in my HoneyBook tool, it does give the option for Facebook as one of the options, and then Google, and then referral, or things like that. And it's majority, way outleads. Facebook is not one of the leading ones on there. I will sometimes have people that say, oh, so-and-so referred me to you, and they'll send me a message through Facebook. But I would definitely say that Google has been the top one. And I think when you have a business with the letter A, I think that helps, just because even if they're typing in photo booth, I think, because it's going to come, a lot of times it will come up first.
Outside of Facebook, first like social media for like weddings, I was thinking that was definitely the most interesting part as far as being like different than typical photo booths. If it's like live in real time, if you could go in there, like tag us and show that we're at this wedding having a great time.
Yes.
Have you tried, or can you integrate things like Snapchat or Instagram?
Instagram, yes, yes. I don't think they have the Snapchat capability yet, but I use Darkroom.
So the reason I asked, we were at an aquarium or something, it was a while back, but it was the coolest thing. They had a TV screen, and as you walk by the TV screen, it had a camera on there. It was like Snapchat, and it was like you look at it, and it automatically put like a face on your, what Snapchat does. So I was just thinking, if there's a way to integrate that, that'd be fun for weddings and stuff. And
I can
that way
definitely
you can make it live online.
Awesome. Yeah, I definitely will look into that, because I know, like, with the social media, Facebook, Instagram, and then also we have slow motion capability and also video booth recording. So yeah, I'll definitely look into that.
What's your heads up time requirement from the time?
Oh, I didn't talk about that. So since I allow my clients to do payments, they can do a $100 deposit, and then we will divide up whatever months and times that we have for the rest of their payments. Interestingly enough, though, we book out, like I have some weddings, for example, May 20th and May 27th. Those were booked back in July and August of last year. All four, like we have 2 events going on both days with both sets of equipment. So it just depends on that.
I don't know if you've looked in this side of things, but have you looked into integrating selfies into your printing capabilities?
Like the hashtag printers that you can use? Or
No, I don't know what printer you use,
Okay.
but for example, like DNP printers,
Yes,
you can
that's
do
what I have.
wireless.
Yes.
Yeah, you can do wireless servers. And
Okay.
you can actually set up a network that says like Johnny Kate's wedding, and that's the Wi-Fi name.
Oh, okay.
And people can actually take selfies, because everybody's taking selfies at weddings. You can take a selfie and it'll print directly to the printer.
See,
And
that's
then
why.
you give them a count. So you say,
Okay.
oh, up to 300 prints.
Okay.
Which DMP do you have?
RX1.
Oh, you have the RX1. So yeah, so you can count. It has a
Yes.
counter on it,
Mhm.
right? So you can tell them, it's up to 300 prints. After 300 prints,
Okay.
it's X amount of dollars. So
See,
definitely
that's why I'm a
worthwhile.
part of this group, to learn this. Because, yeah, I'm thinking, oh, I need to get a hashtag printer, and that's another couple
Yeah.
$1,000 and everything. So
DMP actually makes a wireless server that
Okay.
integrates with the printers.
I'll look
Definitely
into that.
do it.
Thanks. Cool. Thank you guys so much.